स्थापकाय च धर्मस्य सर्वधर्मस्वरूपिणे अवतारवरिष्ठाय रामकृष्णाय ते नमः। जननीं शारदां देवीं रामकृष्णं जगद्गुरुं पादपद्मे तयो श्रित्वा प्रणमामि मुहुर्मुहुः। नमः श्रीयतिराजाय विवेकानन्दसूरये सच्चित्सुखस्वरूपाय स्वामिने तापहारिणे। So we have been discussing the basic fundamentals of Vedanta for so many months. So today also we will revise all the basic ideas. As you all know, Vedanta is the philosophy of Upanishads, which form the knowledge portion of the Vedas. And the word Veda means knowledge. But what kind of knowledge? In general, whatever knowledge we gain is through our senses. So the senses are called Jnanendriyas, Pancha Jnanendriya. Through this Pancha Jnanendriya, we gain the knowledge from the external world, and it is processed in our mind and intelligence, and it becomes our knowledge. But the knowledge that we gain from the Vedas is not this kind of knowledge. Because if this knowledge can be gained through our senses and mind, then there was no need for it to be given through the Vedas or the Guru Parampara. So this knowledge is transcendental knowledge, or atindriya jnana, the knowledge that we cannot gain through our senses and mind. This is the first point we have to understand, that whatever knowledge that is given through the Vedas, that is atindriya jnana, transcendental knowledge. And secondly, it is not a product of human intelligence. For example, the Western philosophy, whatever we find, they are all written by through human intelligence. But Vedas are not like that. Our rishis are only mantra drashtas. They have discovered that knowledge which is already there. So this knowledge is called apaurushaya. And for example, what kind of knowledge can be called atindriya jnana or apaurushaya jnana? What happens after death? This knowledge cannot be gained through human intelligence. No matter how far or how developed our science can be, whatever science gives is the knowledge that is gained through the senses and through our mind and intelligence. But this knowledge of what happens after death, that comes to us through our Vedas. Hence it is atindriya jnana, apaurushaya jnana. In Kathopanishad, this question is asked. Yeyam prete vichikitsa manushye asti tyeke nayam asti ti chaike. When a person dies, some say that he still exists, and some say that he does not exist. So what is the truth behind it? I want to know. So this is the question put forth. So this is a question which a human being cannot understand through his own intelligence. Hence it is asked to Yama, the god of death. And the answer we find is, Na jayate mriyate va vipaschit, nayam kutaschit na babhuva kaschit, ajo nitya shashvatoyam purano na hanyate hanyamane sharire. Na jayate mriyate. This atman is neither born nor will it die. Nayam kutaschit na babhuva kaschit. It has neither come from something nor does anything else come out of it. Ajo nitya shashvatoyam purano na hanyate hanyamane sharire. It is aja, unborn, shashvata, eternal. It is ever existing. And it will not die when this body dies. So birth and death is only with respect to the body, related to the body. And Atman is the witness consciousness of this body and mind. Sakshi Chaitanya. So to realize this Atman, which we already are, we are not the body nor the mind. Body-mind complex is only an external covering, just like we are wearing this cloth. So, but we have not realized it. Realization means direct experience, aparokshanubhuti. That anubhuti we have to gain. So our Upanishads, Vedanta, slowly direct us towards this experience by showing us reasoning about our experiences that we are already having. Based on that only, we have to slowly move towards this inner atindriya jnana. So the first step that we are asked is to develop Viveka buddhi. Viveka is nitya vastu viveka. What is nitya, eternal, and what is anitya or non-eternal, unreal, which is continuously changing. So first of all, we have to observe the external world. The world we are experiencing every day. It is continuously changing. What was 10 or 20 or 50 years ago, it is not the world, it is not the same world now. And similarly, after a few years, it will be different. It is continuously changing. Then our own body. A few years ago, we were a child. We were having a small mind. We were knowing few things. Then, as we grew, we started learning so many things. Our mind expanded. Our intelligence developed. So our body and mind are also continuously changing. Now suppose we keep our photographs in front of us from our childhood, 5-year-old, 15-year-old, 45-year-old, 65-year-old. And we ask somebody who don't know us, who are these people? So they may not understand that it is the same person. But we will say, I am this, I am this, I am this, I am this, I am all this. But the body and mind of a 5-year-old is not like that of a 15-year-old or 45-year-old. It is completely changed. But we know that I am the same person behind this body-mind complex. So who is that person? What is that eternal reality, nitya vastu, behind this ever-changing body-mind complex? That is what we have to realize. That is our Atman. So this is the first step. Nitya vastu viveka or sad asat viveka. Sat is the eternal reality and asat is the unreal changing phenomena. Next viveka is drig drishya viveka. The distinction between the seer and the seen. Seer is the subject and seen is the object. For example, if I say, this is a table, what does it mean? It means two things. That this table is an object in my consciousness. And second, I am not the table. So whatever we can objectify in our consciousness, we are not that. So the world that we see externally, right now we are identified with this body, so this body becomes the subject and this world is the object. There is a famous shloka, Rupam Drishyam Lochanam Drik, Tad Drishyam Driktu Manasam, Drishyadhi Vrittaya Sakshi Drigeva Natu Drishyate. So whatever forms, Rupa, that we are seeing externally, it becomes the Drishya when our eyes is the Drik, the subject. Now when we close our eyes, then our eyes become the object and our mind becomes the subject. And finally, when the mind becomes the object, Drishya Dhi Vrittaya Sakshi Drigeva Natu Drishyate, then who is the Sakshi of the mind? That is our Swarupa, our consciousness. And just while sitting itself, now if you close your eyes and try to observe your whole body from within, so you can understand that this whole body you are able to objectify in your consciousness. You know your body from within. So what does that mean? That body is an object in our consciousness and I am not the body. Next, whatever feelings and thoughts that are arising in our mind, who knows it? We know it. We are the subject and mind is the object. Whatever thoughts or feelings or imagination, sankalpa, vikalpa, whatever is arising in our mind, we are the knower of that. We know what is arising in our mind, what we are feeling. So who are we? We are the subject and mind is the object. So when mind is an object in our consciousness, what does it mean? It means we are not the mind. We are the witness consciousness that is experiencing the mind. So we are neither the body nor the mind. And who is this I who is talking? This ego I, when we go to sleep, in deep sleep, this I is not there. When we awake, when the mind awakes, this I also appears. So this I is also not the eternal reality. It comes and goes. And we know I. This I, ego that is appearing, we are the consciousness which knows this I as an object. What does it mean? It means that this ego is also an object in our consciousness and we are not this ego. It means this whole body, mind complex and everything that we are knowing, actually we are not this. That is the truth. For example, this is called Prakriti, which changes continuously, it is changing. And one who knows this Prakriti is the Purusha or the Atman. In Gita, Bhagavan says, Ashtada Prakriti, my Prakriti is eightfold. Bhumi Rapo Nalo Vayu Khang Mano Buddhi Revacha Ahankara Iti Yamme Bhinna Prakriti Rashtadha. First, Pancha Mahabhutas, Bhumi, earth, Apa, water, Anala, fire, Vayu and Khang, space. So all these five bhutas by which our body is made belongs to this earth. And the five main elements, by this the body is made. Then Bhumi Rapo Nalo Vayu Khang Mana Buddhi Evacha Ahankara Iti Yamme Bhinna Prakriti Rashtada. The next is Mana, Buddhi and Ahankara. So with this Pancha Mahabhutas our gross body is made, And with the Sukshma Tanmatras, our subtle body is made, which is Antakarna, Mana, Buddhi, Chitta, Ahankara. So this body, physical body, as well as our Sukshma Sharira, mental body or subtle body, both are actually coverings, and they are objects in our consciousness, and we are the witness consciousness. And third Viveka is Avasthatraya Viveka. So we are experiencing 3 states of consciousness every day. First is waking state. Right now we are in waking state. So we are identified with the gross body, Sthula Sharira, and we are experiencing Sthula Jagat. Then we go to sleep. First of all, our mind is withdrawn from the body. But the mind is still active. So the mind visualizes whatever according to his samskaras, and it creates a Swapna Jagat, that is Swapna Avastha. So in the dream, it creates a dream world and also a dream body. Just as we have a gross body in the gross world, we have a dream body in the dream world, and we are moving in the dream world with our dream body. And we have similar experiences in our dream also, as long as the mind is active. Then the mind becomes completely silent, and we experience nothing. Darkness, ignorance, but there is bliss. That is called Sushupti Avastha, when there is nothing. Neither the world, nor the body, nor the mind, nor the intellect, nor the ego. Nothing is there. And when we get up, we say, I slept happily, I didn't know anything. But this ego I who is telling this was not present there in that state. So who was there who knew that I know nothing and I experienced bliss? Who was there? That is our real nature, our Swarupa, the Atman, pure consciousness, Shuddha Chaitanyam. And that Shuddha Chaitanyam is always there. It is pervading all the 3 states of consciousness. Jagrat Avastha, it is identified with gross body and experience gross world. In Swapna Avastha, it is identified with dream body and experience dream world. And in Sushupti Avastha, it is identified with Karana Sharira, which is ignorance, Ajnana, and Ananda. It is also called Anandamaya Kosha. So in Sushupti Avastha, it is identified with this Karana Sharira, and it experiences ignorance and bliss. But what we have to understand is, this Sakshi Chaitanya, witness consciousness, which is our Swarupa, it never sleeps. It is always awake. It is always the witness of everything that is happening. It is detached. So to realize that as our real nature, even now in this Jagrat Avastha, is our goal, our Lakshya. That is our Swarupa Jnana. And how to attain it? So this first step is Viveka. And in Taittiriya, this Avasthatraya Viveka comes in Mandukya Upanishad. And in Taittiriya Upanishad comes Pancha kosha Viveka. So same thing is differentiated even further. That our Sthula Sharira, gross body, is called Annamaya kosha. It is the external most covering because it grows by eating food. Hence it is called Annamaya kosha. Then who is running this body? How does this body function? It functions with vital energy, prana. So behind this Annamaya kosha is Pranamaya kosha. And prana we are experiencing how? all our body functions, everything is activated by this prana only. Our breathing, our respiratory system, nervous system, digestive system, circulatory system, reproductive system, everything is working through prana shakti. And who controls the prana? That is, behind pranamaya kosha is manomaya kosha. How do we know that? Because suppose our mind is agitated, a person gets angry, his prana, his breathing changes. He starts breathing fast, or there are some changes in his prana. That's why when the mind is tensed or depressed, our prana doesn't function properly and the body also becomes ill. So behind pranamaya kosha is manomaya kosha. And this manomaya kosha consists of sankalpa, vikalpa. Various kinds of thoughts, imaginations are appearing in this mind, manomaya kosha. And behind manomaya kosha is vijnanamaya kosha, intelligence, which is nishchayatmika buddhi, decision maker. It is this vijnanamaya kosha which also consists ego, which takes decisions. This is right, this is wrong. This is dharma, this is adharma. This is satya, this is asatya. This decision is taken by vijnanamaya kosha. So these three koshas, consisting of manomaya kosha, pranamaya kosha, manomaya kosha and vijnanamaya kosha, forms our sukshma sharira. Behind sthula sharira is sukshma sharira. And behind vijnanamaya kosha and the sukshma sharira we are experiencing during our dream state, swapna avastha. Then behind this vijnanamaya kosha is anandamaya kosha, which we are experiencing during our deep sleep state, sushupti avastha. And our atman, or pure consciousness, is of course, it can pervade all these koshas as well as it can withdraw from all these koshas according to will. Hence Shankaracharya says in Vivek Chudamani, avasthatraya sakshi san pancha kosha vilakshanaha. This atman, our pure consciousness, Shuddha Chaitanyam, is avasthatraya sakshi. It is the witness of these three states of consciousness, and it is pancha kosha vilakshanaha. It is different from all these pancha koshas. So what happens during death? In general, when a person has not realized his atman, when atma bodha has not happened, so death means only the change of the gross body. Sthula sharira is left and sukshma sharira goes out in search of it will create a new gross body. So according to its samskaras, it will choose a particular family, it is born there and it will grow from that point. That is why Bhagavan says in the Gita, Vasamsi jirnani yatha vihaya navani grinhati naroparani tatha shariraya vihaya jirnan anyani sanyati navani dehi. Just as our clothes, when they are torn or worn out, we throw them and take on new clothes. Similarly, this jivatma, which mainly consists of sukshma sharira, it gives up the sthula sharira and takes up new body. So this goes on until this jivatma realizes its real nature, attains atma bodha, self-realization, and after that what happens in Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, it comes that for a self-realized person there is no going out. Na tasya prana utkramanti. His prana doesn't go out. His prana, mana and all these panchabhutas get merged in Prakriti and he realizes his oneness with Brahman or God. Brahman is universal consciousness and Atman is the pure consciousness behind this body-mind complex. But Atman, which is pure consciousness, what is its nature? Its nature is Sat Chit Ananda. Sat means pure existence. Chit means pure consciousness, and Ananda is pure bliss. So this Atman is the existence in which everything exists. It is the consciousness in and through which everything is known. And it is the bliss which is the source of all joy and happiness. So this Sat Chit Ananda, which is our real nature, our Swarupa, is unlimited. When we say pure existence or pure consciousness, we cannot put a limit on that. It is limitless. When it is limitless, what does it mean? It is eternal and infinite. So that which is infinite cannot be two. We cannot say that I am an Atman which is infinite and you are an Atman which is infinite. So when the Atman is infinite, it means that Atman is one with Brahman, which is the universal consciousness. It is this Brahman that we call God. Brahman is defined as, in Taittiriya Upanishad it comes, Yato va imani bhutani jayante yena jatani jivanti yat prayanti abhisamvishanti ti tat vijiknyasasva tat brahmeti. Tat, that, Brahman is what? It is the ocean of consciousness from which all these beings and worlds come into existence. They stay for some time and they go back, merge into that consciousness. So all of us are nothing but waves in that consciousness, universal consciousness called Brahman. In Ashtavakra Samhita it comes, the experiences of a realized soul. What is he realizing? He is realizing that so many waves of jivas are arising every moment within me. They are staying for some time and they are again merging in me. I am that ocean of consciousness. So this experience, what does it give? What is the result of self-realization? First result is all our sorrows come to an end. All our suffering come to an end. Atyantika dukkha nivritti paramananda praptischa. Whatever happiness or joys we are searching for in this world are momentary. It stays for few seconds or few minutes. Or even big joy, suppose a person gets a big success in his life, even that happiness of that success will stay for few months or few years. Then it goes away. But this happiness is not, hence it is not called happiness. Happiness is called sukha. This is Paramananda. It means supreme bliss, eternal bliss which never fades. Because we are not experiencing it as an object. Whatever sukha, dukkha we experience is in our mind. So we are experiencing it as an object. But this eternal bliss, Paramananda, is our own nature. We are that Ananda. We become that Ananda. So we are not experiencing it as an object. We become that. Hence it is said, Brahma Veda Brahmaiva Bhavati. One who realizes Brahman, he becomes Brahman. So this knowledge, what is the difference between this knowledge and any other knowledge? Is this knowledge is anubhuti, direct experience, aparoksha anubhuti, immediate experience. It is not a knowledge that is gained through objectifying anything. You are becoming that which you already are. So, point to understand here is that this is, on gaining this knowledge, we are not gaining anything new. We are only realizing what we already are. Hence, it is called self-realization, Atma Bodha. It is not self-attainment. You are not attaining something new. You are realizing what you already are. So why we are not realizing it all the time? When we are already the Atman, why we are feeling that we are this body and our whole life goes in protecting this body and fulfilling the desires of this body. And ultimately we understand that we are not this body. So why is this happening? So the reason given in Kathopanishad is Paranchi khani vyatarnat swayambhu tasmat paran pashyati na antaratman. Paranchi khani vyatarnat swayambhu. Swayambhu is God, creator God. He has created our senses and mind in such a way that they are always outgoing, externally oriented. Therefore, they perceive the external world and not the antaratman, inner self. Paranchi khani vyatarnat swayambhu tasmat paran pashyati na antaratman. Then who will realize it? Kaschid dhiraha pratyagatmanam aikshat avrita chakshu amritatvam icchan. But there are few dhiras. Who are these dhiras? Dhiras are those who have developed this fine intelligence, wisdom of life. And they have the courage to go against nature. So our natural tendency of our senses and mind is to go outwards and enjoy the world. But Dhira is one who has the courage to give this external orientation and direct his senses and mind inwards. Avrita chakshu. Turn the sight inwards. Avrita chakshu amritatvam icchan. With an intense longing for amritatva, immortality. Because with that spiritual wisdom and intellectual conviction gained from our Shastras, this knowledge the intellectual knowledge of this Atman or Brahman, we are gaining either from our Shastras or from our Guru. So for that, first of all, we need Shraddha. Shraddha in our Shastras and in our Guru. So from Guru Vakya, if we have firm conviction that we are the Atman and we try to realize it, we direct our mind inwards, withdrawing it from the external world. So how can you withdraw the mind? You can withdraw the mind only when you have Viveka. When you know that this world is unreal. Whatever we are experiencing from the world is only momentary, temporary. Hence, with that Vairagya, we will withdraw our mind and senses from the world and direct it within. That is called Shama and Dhamma. Shama is control of mind and Dhamma is control of senses. Then Uparati is withdrawing the mind from the senses itself and directing it towards the Atman. And then we shall gain that inner joy and inner bliss which will sustain us to move forward in this path of self-realization. And ultimately, when the mind is perfectly pure, we attain, that is called Chitta Shuddhi. That is attained through Vasana Kshaya. When all our desires for worldly enjoyments and sense pleasures are given up, that is called Vasana Kshaya. And we attain Chitta Shuddhi. The mind becomes perfectly pure and calm. And in such a pure mind, the pure Atman shines forth. Between the body and our Atman is the mind. And because this mind is impure and restless, we are not able to realize our real nature, which we already are. We are the Atman only. Atman has never become the body. But there is this cloud So when this cloud is cleared, cloud of mind, so many thoughts, vrittis are arising in our mind every moment, which is hiding our real nature. So definition of yoga itself is yogas chitta vritti nirodha. Yoga is nothing but the control and silencing of the mind. Control of thought waves called vritti and silencing the mind. As the mind is calmed, the atman will shine forth. We will realize our atman immediately. That is atma bodha. So, what we have to do, our main goal of all sadhanas is nothing but chitta shuddhi. Once this chitta shuddhi is attained, we will move towards atma bodha or self-realization. And what is this atman? Tat satyam sa atma tattvamasi, as Chandogya Upanishad says. That is the truth, that is the atman, and you are that. We are not this body, we are not the mind, nor the intellect, nor the ego. All these are parts of Prakriti which is continuously changing, and we are the Sakshi Chaitanya, Shuddha Chaitanya, which is the witness of all these changing phenomena and all these states of mind. And we are already that. We only have to become conscious of that every moment. We are forgetting it. We have somehow forgotten it. And we have been thinking of ourselves to be this body. And with this thought, we are living our life. Hence, we have developed all the samskaras, ignorant samskaras and vasanas. So now, holding on to this truth, we have to start living our life, holding on to this truth and creating new samskaras, which are jnana samskaras. Till now, we have developed only ajnana samskaras. So with this jnana samskaras, all the previous samskaras will be cleared, and we attain that complete satisfaction and fulfillment in our atman. Atmanyevatmana tushtaha sthita prajnas tadochyate. One who is fully satisfied in the atman alone, he is called sthita prajna in Bhagavad Gita. So that is our goal of life. Any questions?
Vedas can be learned only through lectures or theory. So through jnana only.
But that knowledge of Vedas is only intellectual knowledge. That's why the goal is said, no? In Brihadaranyaka Upanishad it is said, Atma va are drashtavyaha, shrotavyo mantavyo nididhyasitavyaha. So first step is to hear. Shrotavya, shravana. How you should, realizing the Atman is the goal. Atma va are drashtavyaha. You have to realize the Atman. How you have to realize? Through Shrotavyo mantavyo nididhyasitavyaha. First is shravana. You have to listen from your guru, or you have to study from the Vedas. That is the first step, shravana. Then you have to do deep thinking on those truths. And while this stage of, that is called manana, while this stage of manana, so many doubts will arise. And those doubts have to be cleared from your guru or acharya. And when you have firm intellectual conviction in the truth, final step is nididhyasana, means meditation on that truth. You meditate on that truth and you realize it directly within yourself. That is the real jnana. Intellectual knowledge is secondary jnana, but that is the first step. You have to develop intellectual conviction, then only you will go for meditation. Any other question? Pariksha lokan karma chitan brahmano nirveda mayat. Pariksha lokan, you observe whatever desires you have fulfilled till now. Have your desires been fulfilled? Huh? No matter how much you try to fulfill it, it again goes on increasing only. You are still unsatisfied. Whole your life you have been fulfilling your desires, but they are still unfulfilled. So it means it is Maya. Huh? There comes a story of Yayati in both Mahabharata and in Bhagavata. He went on marrying so many times, so many wives he had. But still, in his old age, he felt that I have still not been fulfilled. I am still the same. My desires are like that only. So finally he gives the statement, Na jatu kama kaman amupa bhogena shamyati havisha krishna vartmeva bhuya eva bhivardate. So desires can never be fulfilled by fulfilling the desires. Fulfilling desires is like adding more butter to the fire. It will go on increasing. Just a person, you observe, a person who is taking some addiction like cigarette or alcohol, he begins with one cigarette maybe or one sip of alcohol. But then after few days it increases. From one cigarette it becomes 2 cigarettes, 5 cigarettes, 10 cigarettes. So in the end he is uncontrolled. So like that, all addictions are like that only. Whatever you go on fulfilling, it will go on increasing, and your mind will be completely addicted and it will be doomed. It will be destroyed. So Gita gives the clear this thing, no? In 2nd chapter it comes. Dhyayato vishayan pungsaha sangasteshu pajayate. Sangat sanjayate kamaha kamat krodho bijayate. Krodhat bhavati sammoha sammohat smriti vibhramaha smriti bhramshat buddhi nashat pranashyati. So when you are constantly thinking about any object, sense object, the desire to possess that object will come. Dhyayato vishayan means sense object. Dhyayato vishayan pungsaha sangasteshu pajayate. You develop attachment towards that. Sangat sanjayate kamaha. From this attachment you develop desire to possess that object. Sangat sanjayate kama, kamat krodho bijayate. And if the desire is not fulfilled, you develop anger. Krodhat bhavati sammoha. With anger, you are deluded. Sammohat smriti vibhramaha. You forget all that what you have learnt. Your memory becomes faded or lose your memory. And finally what happens? Smriti bhramshat buddhi nashat pranashyati. With the loss of memory of your real nature, your intelligence or Viveka buddhi is also lost and you are destroyed. So we have to understand, observing what is going on in the world. Pariksha lokan, you observe carefully that whatever you gain from this world is all temporary, only for a few days. Whatever desire of yours has been fulfilled, that joy lasts only for few minutes. After that it is lost. So fulfilling this desire is not our goal. When we realize our inner self, all these desires will automatically be destroyed. Because these desires are based on ignorance, ajnana. Patanjali Yoga Sutra gives, ajnana is avidya. Avidya, asmita, raga, dvesha, abhinivesha. From avidya, ajnana comes asmita, ego or identification with this body. I am this body. Ajnana is ajnana of our real nature. We have forgotten our real nature, ourself, our atman. Then we become the body. From avidya, asmita. And from asmita, ego, what comes? Raga, dvesha and abhinivesha. Raga is attachment to sense objects. Dvesha is aversion. So, likes and dislike. and abhinivesha, or clinging to physical life. So from raga comes kama, from dvesha comes krodha, and from abhinivesha comes bhaya, fear. So we are trapped in the world with all these things. So the root cause is ajnana, forgetting our real self, our real nature. So we have to act over there. We have to try to realize our real nature, our atman, by continuous practice. According to our Guru's instruction, we have to do sadhana and purify our mind, and we will realize our real nature in course of time. But we have to start. Then desires will automatically fall off, because as Sri Ramakrishna says, when we go towards the east, west will automatically be left behind. So when we go towards God, that bliss and joy of the divine is so attractive, so fulfilling, that all these things of the world, all the joys of the world becomes nashwara, tuchha. And our mind will become more and more attracted towards that higher, eternal, infinite bliss. In Chandogya Upanishad it comes that the joy is only in the infinite. Real joy, real eternal joy. Yo vai bhuma tat sukham, na alpe sukham asti bhumaiva sukham. The real happiness is not in this alpa, in the worldly joys. It is in bhuma, the infinite, the eternal reality. And that eternal reality is not far away. It is our own real nature. It is within us only. Only we have to look within. We are till now looking outside, so we are not realizing it. When we look within, we are already that. Okay? Om Niranjanam Nityam Anantarupam Bhaktanukampa Dhrita Vigraham Vai Ishavataram Paramesha Medyam Tam Ramakrishnam Shirasa Namah.